This is my Echeveria Lotus. To be exact, Echeveria Pulidonis Lotus. Here in Australia, we call this Echeveria Pulidonis Lotus. But some people have actually just called this Echeveria Lotus. And this is my Echeveria Blue Lotus, also known as Sedum or Sedum Suaveolens. Now this one doesn't have the red tips like the Pulidonis, and it has this green overall look. So the leaves are mainly green, or should I say powdery green. Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. Here in Australia, we don't really have Echeveria Lotus. And I was looking online to see if there's any Echeveria Lotus or what you might consider Echeveria Lotus. And I found two forms. The first one I saw was something similar to this. This is my Peruvian blue. The Echeveria Lotus that is created by Renee O'Connell has more of a free leaf form. The shape of the leaves are similar to this one. Now this plant here has got a very lotus-like shape. So if you look at the shape of the leaves, look at that, it's just so gorgeous. And it's very lotus-like. But I got this one with no name. I bought it from a local hardware store wherein a lot of the succulents we get here comes with no ID. It's just very generic Echeveria. And this one actually came with no reference to the genus as well. So it's just succulent. And so I gave it a name called Polvoloto, just so I can differentiate it from my other plants. But you can see the edges of the leaves here has got these serrated edges. Look at that. There you go, so I can see it now. So this one here, that part there, you can see it's like a serrated blade. Now this plant here with no name, or I acquired it with no name. I featured this a couple of days ago on one of my vlogs. And a couple of people said that this is actually known as Echeveria Lotus. The first person who brought this to my attention said that this is Echeveria Lotus. And so I had a look online, and it does look like the Echeveria Lotus that's available online. This gorgeous plant that you see in here is one of the babies that I propagated from my formerly called Echeveria Marilyn. I have to give it a name, so that way nothing gets lost in translation. But I acquired this 2.5 years ago. And of course it did not come with a name. And I bought half a dozen. And now I have propagated it. And now I have them growing just about, not everywhere, but I have a few babies. Except for that one. That one is an Echeveria Lola. Echeveria Lola, because that's the label it came with when I bought it. I've grown it, and that's already a baby. And doing research online again, the flower, waited for it to flower, and the way, the growth habit, and it's telling me that it's possibly a Lilacina. So this is now what I refer to in my plant collection as Lilacina. Because my Lola is this one. This is one of my Echeveria Lola. And this Echeveria Lola is very similar to this Echeveria Lola, which is a seed grown, or this plant came from a seed or grown from a seed. And you can, if you notice, the tips of the leaves are sort of flat, and that one is sort of semi-pointed. There's a term for it, macronate, accumulate. I can't really remember exactly what those names are or those shapes, but I will make a comparison. And then this one here now, I got this one as a Michaela, which I believe this is actually a Lola because of the arrangement of the leaves. And this one, the leaves are quite pointier. So if I pull back, can you tell the difference of the leaves of the three? So number 1, Lola. Number 2, seed grown, Lola. And number 3, Michaela, which is supposed to be a Lola and elegance hybrid. But the whitest of them all is actually the Michaela here. Now, where do you say am I going with all of this? Now, I'm going to pull back here and I'm going to focus into the original Lola that's in this bunch here with now Echeveria Lotus is what I'm going to call this plant now. And this one here is the Echeveria Lola / Lilacina. Now this one, or should I say, these ones here are Echeveria Lotus. These are all leaf propagated. So I propagated them from leaves and I've grew them, or I placed them somewhere where they're exposed to the sun. And this is the result. So I have 1, 2, and 3 plants. And doesn't that look like this plant? So that's why it is so confusing when you get them first up. But when I first got this plant, someone said to me that, why are you getting that? A friend of mine said, why are you getting so much of that? That's only a Lola. And I said to her that it kind of looks different. So there's a like plant that sort of looks a little bit of variance or variation in the plant. So that's why I actually got 6, half a dozen of them. And of course, as you can see now, from that 2.5 years ago, I have quite a few plants. And now, don't say, oh, can you sell them? Not yet, because I am in the process of putting this in my garden. So this one here now is also one of my, I think this one is a cuttings. So 2 of them in the big pot, these 2, I've grown from cuttings. So you can see even here, apart from the shape of the center where it's sort of cupped up, or it's like a lotus-like. So even that's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous plant. See? It's sort of close off. There's really nothing to say that if I look at that and say, oh, that's probably a Lola. So I can't really blame my friend for thinking that way. But anyway, so these ones I have grown out, exposed to the element, but it's sort of down below on the ground, and this one is high up. Now this one has grown bigger. They're in exactly the same soil, and yet these ones that's exposed to the element have become pinkier and smaller. And the one in here on the right hand side, I'll take this out. This is grown here in my 50 zone area. Do you notice something different? The color even is different than those 2. So those ones has got more of a powdery look, the ones on the right. So that has powdery look, and this one has got more of like a greener look. Here, this is also cuttings, all grown from cuttings, this one. Look at them, that one, it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, if you'd say, oh, nice pink. Now, if I show you this one, are you going to say that this is one of them? This is, by the way, is an Echeveria Lilacina. This plant in this pink pot I have featured in a lot of my videos, and this is one that I've grown from a leaf as well. Now this one is another Lilacina grown in a pink pot. Now these ones are grown open to the elements, so full sun, full rain, full, everything full. Okay, I'll just put you down. And this one here, I've grown in my covered outdoor area. This is one, or the 3 of them are my original plant. So most of the Lilacina I have came from this stock, these three. This is the three original that started my Lilacina. But then I'm not going to talk about that because now I have these ones on the left. This one also looks like a Lilacina. And if I have a close look at this one, that looks more like a Lilacina, except it has pink tips. Okay, pull this back. This is so confusing, oh my goodness. Just like that Lotus, the Echeveria Lotus now. So they both have pink tips. So this is where the confusion comes in sometimes, unless you have a label to sort of back you up and say that that's what it's called when I got it. And then oftentimes there's a lot of times wherein the label is also wrong because the person who's selling the plant or where you got it from would have stick a label, or they can actually misplace it or whatever. And then also plants will grow differently. So sometimes you have a plant that sort of say, oh, this is morning beauty. I have a morning beauty that actually grew into a monstrous form and end up looking like a Lilacina. That's why label is very important. So now, okay, in the confusion, so okay, this one now again, so this is another Lola. This Lola is a cup shape as well, so but you can see that this Lola has got a whiter appearance compared to the tone of this Lotus. But this Lotus is very prominent anyway, those shape of the spoon like, it's a shape like a spoon. So probably better if, there you go, but I can't see it anyway. So it's like, there you go. Oh, look. You see that? It's like a spoon like. Look, it's dripping. So it's like a spoon. So anyway, this is now my beautiful, beautiful Echeveria Lotus. So with all that rambling that went on, I don't know if you got something from that. But anyway, this is more like to say that now I have an Echeveria Lotus. Thank you to Lucky Strike for bringing it to my attention. And now already got your name with my plant. And this one as well, I'm gonna put it into my Lotus here now, which I have to remove that name Marilyn, because you are not a Marilyn, you are a Lotus. Echeveria Lotus, beautiful plant, and I can't wait for the flower to open up or bloom. Bloom, baby, bloom. So that way we can have a better look. Now, will I remember to put them all back? So these two, this is grown in here protected. And this one too. Oh, by the way, this one has got sort of a brownish tone, this Echeveria Kisses. And of course, gorgeous. It's like, yeah, I can understand now why they name it Kisses. It's like little sweet kisses, the pink tips. But this one in the center here now, this one got hit by a mealybug. And this one has got a different shape now. It's much, much pointier. You notice that? So anyway, I don't know if it's going to grow to be like the mummy. And this one will go back here. This Lilacina back here. This one back out here. Now this one, whoopsie, I was gonna say uno, dos, tres, but anyway, that one fell down. My camera sideways. This one came from here, and that one came from there. Pulidonis Lotus will go back here. Careful. And my three Lilacina, Mommy Lilacina, will go back with the Lowies. Over here, don't damage it, please. Okay, thank you. Blue Lotus goes back up the top. Don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it. Careful, careful. Careful, don't. Please, 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 please don't hit that plant there. Okay, one hand. Okay. Okay, there you go. This goes back to the 50 zone over here. And this one next to my misshapen Pulidonis, and also my Colorata Lilacina that has gone funky as well. Look at that, it's gone fat and short. So it's having a form of its own as well. And this one goes back here. These two will be taken to where I had it growing in the back, and this one to here. Okay, next to my Ben Buddies. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, please, if you want to be notified when there's a new video upload, then hit the subscribe button. And also, that way you can check out all these pretty plants that I've got. These two now I have to go back. Oh, this one I forgot. That one goes somewhere else as well. And this one, I'm gonna put you back where you belong. Right here. With next to the jade point. And my Echeveria Lotus.